I'm Mallory, and for the month of October, Hillels of Westchester's Happiness Campaign is dedicated to cultivating humility and relationships. So for this video, the topic is understanding how much space we take up in the world. And so I wanted to teach some yoga poses that will bring a balance to your third chakra, which is your solar plexus, located right here. It's identified with the color yellow as well, for anyone who's interested. So when we're talking about how much space you take up, it can really have a lot to do with your perception of attachment or letting things go, and also of your own personal self-worth. You know, if you're doing a pose that will strengthen the stomach and help you get a more strong posture like this, it'll help to strengthen your solar plexus. And if you're working on maybe toning down your ego and letting go of some attachments and ideas and possessiveness to topics or even people, you would be doing something a little bit more cooling. So I'll show you some examples right now. So to boost, oh, and these are my socks, aren't they cool? So to boost your solar plexus, I'm going to show you plank pose, which is a great pose. And I'm also, the reason I'm wearing socks is I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit and make it a little harder. So to get into plank pose, really simple, you're going to have your fingers spread wide like this, and you're going to bring them both onto the floor, and you want to really press into your thumb and forefinger to take any pressure off from the sides of the hand and the wrist. And your toes are going to be like this shape, not like, they're active. So it's hard to get my whole body here, but I want to show you as much as I can. So again, my toes are nice and active like this, and my heels are back, okay? I'm tucking my tailbone slightly, and I am holding my low belly in. So to make this a little harder and strengthen your stomach even more, wearing socks, it's harder to do without. I'm going to slide forward and slide back. This is even harder to do if you're talking at the same time. But this will really strengthen your stomach, and this is great if you're a person that needs a little bit more confidence energetically. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. If you want to make it a little easier, if that's too much on the stomach, you can always just do one leg at a time with your knee drop. So let's say going like this, and then going like this. Still getting the activation of the low belly. If you're a person that wants to cool things down and drop your ego a little bit, you can do child's pose. Child's pose is an amazing pose, really accessible. You're on the ground with your feet like this, tucked under you. If you have any knee problems, you can also put a cushion in between your feet and your thighs. And depending on the flexibility in your hips, you can have your knees together or apart. It's a little easier for most people to have your knees apart. So I wouldn't put them too far apart, but just comfortably enough so that you have a pretty standard V shape in between your legs. So from here, you're just going to hinge down and fold, and I'll send my body back a little bit, and you're going to drop all the way down so that your forehead is making connection with the ground. And you're just going to take a few deep breaths here, in through your nose and out through your nose. And you can do this for as long as you'd like, just breathing in and out. When you're ready to come up, you just roll back up slowly and just shake out your legs. So another really great pose for calming your ego and calming attachments and helping yourself let go is doing corpse pose, or shavasana in Sanskrit, which is a lot of people's favorite yoga pose, and it looks like this. It's always at the end of a yoga class, and you're going to lay all the way down and have your palms facing up. Close your eyes and breathe. This is always at the end of the class because of the fact that if you have a series of yoga postures, it's kind of like all of the ingredients added into the mix. And then in shavasana, it's all sort of like seasoned and ready and seeping into the body, right? I don't know if that's a very good way to describe it. It might sound a little more culinary, but it's really the time where everything can just set in and bake, so to speak. So Shavasana is something that you can really do every single day. If you're ever feeling stressed, certainly it's a good pose to do. But really at the end of every yoga class, always make sure that you take Shavasana to allow your body to soak in what it's experienced for the whole hour or hour and a half, how long your class is. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that in any way that these poses can help you. It's so important to acknowledge ego and acknowledge possessiveness and acknowledge how much space you're taking up in the world, energetically speaking and physically speaking. When we're on a yoga mat, sometimes you'll see people with a water bottle and a towel and their cell phone and their keys all around them. And it's taking up a lot of space literally on their mat. And maybe in some way there's a lot of clutter going on in their mind just by seeing all of this stuff on their mat. So really try to make space in your life, start with the yoga mat, and work up from there. So thank you everyone for listening. Have a nice day. Namaste. Bye.